Steve, like I mentioned, the Blue Jays, Russell Martin and the Blue Jays are in St. Louis taking on the Cardinals. So let's go to the Redbirds for this next topic. Matt Carpenter fined and suspended for one game after making contact with an umpire in Sunday's tilt against the Brewers. He was called out on strikes, threw his bat, and said Mike Matheny, his manager, said he didn't even know Carpenter made contact with the umpire. What do you think of Matheny's defense? Did you see the ejection for Carpenter, and was it warranted?
I saw the ejection. I saw the pitch that he argued. I saw the pitch earlier in the count that he didn't like, and he had a legitimate argument. There's no John Trumpayne, the home plate umpire in that game on Sunday, had a horrible strike zone. He did. He just had a really tough night. Carpenter was right. He got called out on a pitch that should not have been strike three. I watched that live, and I got to tell you, I did not see the contact. Later finding out that it was the brim of his helmet that bumped the brim of the hat of the umpire, and that is deemed contact, whether it's incidental, unintentional or not, and therefore, based upon the rule, I get it. I honestly don't think that it was worthy of it, but baseball's policy is if you have any contact, you're going to get suspended, and they do everything they can to protect the umpires. I got to tell you, the strike zones this year have been very poor for me. I've watched so many games. I watched the game last night, Angels and Blue Jays, and both teams were yelling at the home plate umpire, Toby Bassner behind the plate. Some real struggles there. I'm a big proponent of electronic strike zones. Let's let the technology call balls and strike. The umpire can be there for foul ball, check swing, place at the plate. But let's get it right. I'm sick of human error in all of this. If we're not going to have accountability with human umpires, then let the machines do it.
Steve, let's go a little further with that. How realistic do you think that is from what you know with the people that you know in Major League Baseball and obviously with the power structure that makes these decisions and rules? It's not something that's going to change overnight. What would you guess, with the best of your knowledge, if that is to happen, what is the timeline? Are we talking a year, 2 years, 10 years down the line?
Yeah, obviously the union's going to have to go along with this as well. The umpires union, the Players Association and the umpires union are going to have to get on board with it to a certain degree. Now, the commissioner has some right if he wants to make some changes. If somebody doesn't go along with it, a year later he can unilaterally implement some of this. I'm not sure Rob Manfred is there yet, but I was a general manager back in the day when we voted on instant replay. And there were 3 of us who raised our hand initially in favor of instant replay. The next year were 10, then 18, and then you saw the vast majority of general managers on board with instant replay. This is one of those ones that I believe, as technology gets better, and the technology needs to improve because we see the different K-zone, and the different networks, and they're not always as accurate as you'd want them to be. That being said, I think we're close. We're really close. And we've got the Quest Tech system. Right now is a lot of ballparks where umpires get evaluated upon that. Why can't we use that where it triggers in a microphone for the umpire, ball or strike? He calls it out loud so everybody knows, and we can have that umpire. We're not taking a job away, but let's get it right and take away this where pitches that are so far away from the zone are called strikes, and we have these arguments. It will reduce the arguments and increase pace of play. I think it's the right thing. We're probably a couple years away.
Well, I appreciate you taking us behind the curtain a little bit there on how the sausage was made with instant replay. It's crazy that it got that much momentum that quickly with the minds that make the decision in Major League Baseball. Finally, Steve, one of the best rivalries in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers and the Giants. They are going to play a second game of a 4-game set tonight. Clayton Kershaw will be on the bump, so runs should be scarce for the Giants. However, bubbling underneath the surface of Kershaw's start is the fact that both of these teams are bringing up 2 of their top prospects, Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers and Christian Arroyo, I should say, for the San Francisco Giants. What do you expect to see from those 2 as they get their chance at the big leagues?
Well, for Christian Arroyo, welcome to the big leagues, kid. Clayton Kershaw's on the line. I mean, like seriously? Now, I tell you what, Arroyo at his debut last night grounded out in his first at bat, but he made some outstanding defensive plays, and he is prepared to succeed. He was hitting like 450 at AAA. And when you call somebody up, people always ask, how do you know a player's ready? My answer is when he's hitting 450, he's ready. And so, look, a tough matchup for him tonight, but Arroyo, a guy that brings a lot of energy, and it allows them to move Eduardo Nunez out to left field and maybe lengthen their lineup. I think for Cody Bellinger, the question is, can he play left field? He's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, or solid defensive first baseman. But with Adrian Gonzalez, they're not going to be able to do it. I think the challenge for Bellinger is, will he be able to hit left-handed pitching? He's a left-handed hitter. The Dodgers, as the team, really struggle against left-handed pitching. So in addition to getting an opportunity to play, he's going to turn into a platoon player if he doesn't hit lefties early, because as a team, they really struggle. So I'll be interested to see how this develops, and he's obviously facing a lefty tonight with Ty Blatch on the mound.